wow, you really do need this help over here with this. We're happy to help, of course, that sort of thing. But I'm not really bringing teams of people in. A, the funds aren't there, but B, I think that you run the risk of taking opportunities away from Haitian people.
Now, as a Haitian, are they broken out of different tribes, different ethnicities, different like
I mean,
things
there's
like that?
different folks of different backgrounds, certainly, and I'm not well versed enough to speak to it, but there's definitely people who have come from different parts of Haiti, different parts of the world, and ended up there certainly, and speak different, not necessarily dialects, but just different slang in a way. Like there definitely is like slang in Creole. So I don't speak Creole myself, and I only pick up what I pick up from friends who are down there. But depending on whether or not you're in the city, if you're in Port-au-Prince or if you're way out in the periphery, you're going to have a different experience. Especially true also if you had a formal education and you grew up speaking French, and then all of a sudden you're out in the with the country folk, hours away from Port-au-Prince. They're not speaking French. And in fact, when I come in with my rudimentary French, I sound like a white guy trying to communicate in Haiti. I don't sound like I'm this cool hip dude who's speaking the local language. Not even close. I sound like a guy who's speaking, the language of the government, the language of the elite in a way. And it's unfortunate. I need to brush up on my Creole, and I'm always trying to do that when I go.
And what's the economy they're based on? And what is the economy based on? Do they actually export anything out the country?
At this point, I'm not sure, but over time, there have been times where people are exporting coffee. That's been very popular. I've always wanted there to be more mangoes exported from Haiti because there's mangoes like by the gajillions. I think that lumber for a while was a thing until all the trees got cut down. And then beyond that, I can't recall, like in the last year, ever looking up what exports are currently. But you've also got a situation where a lot of the ports are being controlled, and a lot of the ports don't have the access that they typically would because of the gang activity there. So I don't know what the strength of their exports are now. I mean, that would take a Google searching on my part, just as it would anybody else's at this point. But
All right.
yeah.
And so you might not know the answer to this, but I might be making this up. So I know the Dominican Republic, DR, and Haiti are on the same honor, right?
Mhm.
And it seems like always hear people going on vacation in the Dominican Republic, having a good time, going to beaches. Like, how did this happen, right? I'm sure there's like a complicated story, but like, how does that one half of the island like kind of like seems like they're prosperous,
No,
other half is like,
yeah.
what the hell's going on?
That's a good question, and I used to know the answer to that. But what I'll say to speak to it, rather than giving you the history, is that it's very true that the DR, Dominican Republic, is very well populated, supplied with things. Right? They're doing all right, and as soon as you cross the border into Haiti, that it's very different. And I think that over time, there's been people crossing the border, and you see kind of a blending of the worlds in a way. But I don't know if the border is as accessible as it used to be. So I'm not exactly sure. But there are even areas of Haiti where cruise ships go, and these cruise ships go to beaches that are pristine in Haiti, that are fenced off from the rest of the population, basically. Haitians work there at these beach resorts, and your cruise ship comes up and parks. You get off a beach, it's pristine and perfect. Like, my God, Haiti is beautiful. Now, Haiti is beautiful in many, many, many parts of the country, but it's not pristine cruise ship beautiful. This is area that is owned by the cruise ships, that's maintained by the cruise ships to create a certain illusion of sorts. So there's a lot of maneuvering that goes on in terms of how Haiti is positioned in the world. So
So, Greg, before we move on, is anything you else want to talk about for your nonprofit? Any events coming up, or anything else you want to just talk about for your nonprofit?
yeah, well, I would say that if people are interested, to go to 100forhaiti.org, ONEHUR, HUR 100, HUNDRED 100, FORHAITI, 100 for Haiti, all spelled out.org. We're going to be updating the website soon. I've been working on a number of projects over the last year and year and a half. And while the website hasn't been updated, the work has always continued. We've been working consistently in Haiti for the last couple of years. And I would suggest people go to the website if they want to find out more, or if they want to find out more. Another thing you can do is just learn more of the history of this country. It's fascinating. And we hear in the news recently negative things about Haitians, which is most unfortunate because the Haitian people have a lot to offer and a lot of history. So I would suggest start by Googling Haitian history. You'll be fascinated to learn about the debt that was placed over the heads of Haitians in response to them basically freeing themselves from slavery. They were made to pay reparations. They were made to pay reparations for lost basically income on the part of the slave owners. It's mind-boggling. Look at the financial history of Haiti, the history of it. Go to the 100 for Haiti website, and be in touch anytime if people have questions or ideas.
So, Greg, you also a chapter board member for something called the National Speakers Association. Talk about
Yeah,
that.
yeah, for sure. So the National Speakers Association is a speaking organization here in the Pacific Northwest. The National Speakers Association, like national version, is a national organization, as the name suggests, but it's broken down into chapters around the United States. So the chapter in the Northwest covers all of the Northwest. I think technically we're Montana, Idaho, Washington. I don't think Oregon, but I think Alaska is under our purview, if that's the right word, or under our control and domination. No, it's under our, auspices, I guess you'd say. And I'm on the board of the National Speakers Association Northwest. And basically, the idea behind the NSA is to build a better speaking business, get out in front of more people, and communicate better. So I enjoy speaking and connecting with folks. And being on the board is a way of giving back. I think it's important if you're a member of an organization to do your best to give back to that organization too. So my job is as member acquisition, member growth. So in all actuality, I should say to you, Jason, you should be a member. But that's what I'm always trying to do is think of ways to find new members who are interested in connecting with and hearing from other speakers, trainers, consultants, people related to the communicative arts about how they might network and grow their own businesses and become better speakers themselves.
So, Greg, what does it mean to be a professional speaker?
It's a great question. Well, it means that you're in front of audiences. It means you're getting paid for speaking and presenting. It means that you have something to say that is of value to other people and that people are essentially willing to exchange money for your time. I mean, that's what it takes to be a professional, right? Our greatest commodity is time. That's what we have for sale. And the jobs that we participate in are not just activities, they're trading opportunities. We're trading our most valuable commodity that cannot be replaced, time, in exchange for money. We've decided that our time has a price that's put on it. Today I'm sitting here on your podcast not because you're paying me, because you're not. I'm sitting here because I think you're an interesting human and conversation's cool. And most people say, let's talk for 40 minutes. You're like, let's talk for 40 hours. I'm like, okay, I got to figure out what this guy's all about. Let's do this. Well, my time that is very limited, as yours is, as everybody's is worth it to me to sit here and have a conversation with you. In fact, so worth it that I don't need to get paid. But a professional, somebody who's doing this full time in front of an audience for a client, make sure that they get paid. So that's really the differentiator between an amateur and a professional. And I'm not saying I'm an amateur because I'm sitting here. We do some things for fun. That's something I do for fun is podcasts and interviews and whatnot. But I think it's important to remember that a professional is somebody who's getting paid to speak to audiences with an idea. For example, I did a keynote this morning for a medical group here in Seattle, and I spoke to them about distraction, isolation, and I made sure that we were talking about these ideas in conjunction with what they do every day: distraction, isolation, focus, uh, um, pessimism. These were themes that I talked about today, ways to counteract pessimism, isolation, and distraction. So that was a paid event, and it's something that I love to do, and it's pretty interesting to have a job where you're communicating ideas on a regular basis.
So, when you speak at an event, do you only speak on stuff that you know about, or will like a group say, "Hey, Greg, speak on some random subject you have no idea about"?
I've never had a group say speak on something completely random, but that'd be pretty awesome if they did. If I showed up and they said, you know what, we know you've written this book, we know that you have something to say, we're excited that you're here. Please speak on aardvarks, their mating patterns, and the way that global warming might impact the mating patterns of aardvarks. Well, I'd be happy to speak on that, Jason. Now, I have no idea. I don't know
Okay.
what I would say, but I've
Okay.
never been asked to do that yet.
Okay. And then let's say like somebody's like the first time professional speaker and they're having trouble getting the first paid speaking gig, right? They're saying, "Hey, do this for free," whatever the case may be. What's your advice to someone like stand their ground and like get paid what you think your value is?
Well, this is an awesome question. Okay. So oftentimes when people are new to speaking, they're not sure A, where to find clients, and B, how to pursue them. Well, the fact of the matter is there's events constantly in every city in the country, and they all need speakers. So it's possible to find speaking opportunities if you're willing to match the budgets of many organizations who don't have a budget, say, for speaking. But the more important thing is, do you have a message to share? Not do you have, it goes back to what we were talking about before when we were talking about coins, about aesthetics versus value. In that, we pride ourselves on a value trade here in the United States, where I trade my time for money. Well, how much money? How much is my time worth? if I was going to die in 5 minutes, this would be a really expensive interview for
Yeah.
you, right?
Yeah.
But hopefully I'm not going to. So my thought is, you know what? The benefit for me is that I get to have a conversation with a new friend. We get to impact people who listen to us.